Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby if you're new here. And today we are going to be doing some meal prep. So this is something that I do a lot in my house, but I haven't ever filmed it. So I had the opportunity this morning, so I thought I would go ahead and take it. So my mom's keeping my kids at the moment for a couple hours, so I hope we can get through all of this, but if not, at least I will have something for y'all to watch. So today I am going to be making some sandwich bread, some hamburger buns. I'm going to be making some Copycat Eggo waffles. Let's see what else. I'm going to try to make some granola, and we are actually having some company over on Sunday after church, and we're going to be having hamburgers. So I'm going to prep the hamburger patties and get some onions sliced and just all that good stuff. So I hope y'all enjoy this video, and thanks for hanging out with me in my kitchen today. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be making is our sandwich bread dough and hamburger bun dough. So I figured I could go ahead and get that going, mixed up, so that it can be rising while I'm working on other things. So I haven't done this before, but what I'm actually going to do is use a cinnamon roll recipe that I have here for making cinnamon rolls. So, you know, instead of all the filling and stuff, I'm just going to make the dough, because it seems to me like you're using everything that is in a traditional enriched dough recipe. So it's warm milk, yeast, granulated sugar, salt, softened butter, eggs, and all-purpose flour. But in this case, I'm probably going to use bread flour because I like, you know, making my bread with bread flour. It's got more protein in it, and it just helps to make the bread rise higher, and it gives it a slight chew. So let me get my stuff for this. I need milk. Get my things here. Some salt. Okay, so I've got all of my ingredients here, and it just says to add it all to the bowl of my stand mixer. So I'm going to go ahead and warm up my 2 cups of milk here. Just gonna pop this in the microwave. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm just gonna add my ingredients to the bowl here. It's 2 tablespoons of yeast, 4 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1 And I'm gonna need to get my butter softened, so I'll be putting that in the microwave as well. Let's see, I need 6 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now I'm gonna put my butter in the microwave here. And I always like to put a paper towel over it because sometimes it pops. And that is a huge mess, so. All right, my milk's pretty warm here. I'm just gonna go ahead and add this to my yeast and sugar here. Okay, to this I'm gonna add my eggs. All right, and okay, so I've got my milk, yeast, sugar, salt, eggs. Okay, now I need the butter. This is nice and soft. And I'm going to add my flour and then add my salt. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to do about 5.5 right now, and as I'm mixing, if my dough looks like I need to add some more, I will. It'd help if it was plugged in. So I'm just gonna let this mix, and then I'm gonna watch it, and if it's too dry, I can always add more liquid. And if it's too wet, we can add more flour. And what you're looking for, you start to learn this, the more that you make bread, you know what to look for in your dough. So what we look for is that it pulls away from the sides of the bowl. So this actually looks like 5.5 cups is perfect. Normally when the temperature is cooler, there's less humidity, so you don't need to add as much liquid. Or you can get away with using less flour. Okay, so while that's kneading behind me, I'm gonna go ahead and get my ingredients that I need for my Copycat Eggo waffles. So I'm gonna be making a pretty big batch. So let me salt. Just gonna mix. Go ahead and get my dry ingredients mixed up. Okay, so while that's kneading behind me, I'm gonna go ahead and get my ingredients that I need for my Copycat Eggo waffles. So I'm gonna be making a pretty big batch. So let me salt. Just gonna mix. Go ahead and get my dry ingredients mixed up. So I need to check on my mixer and make sure it's not getting too hot. Okay, does anybody else ever have the problem of getting your bowl off of the stand mixer after you mix something? Happens to me every single time. Okay, so my dough is done mixing, so I'm just gonna pop it in this 6-quart Hamburger container so it can have plenty of room to rise. So here is my dough. It's nice and soft. And what you look for whenever you mix dough up is you want to do the window pane test on it. So what you do in that is you pull up a piece of dough and you stretch it really thin to where you can almost see through it like a window pane. And if it doesn't rip, your dough's gluten has developed enough. So this is really, really nice here. I'm excited to get some sandwich dough out of this, some sandwich bread. So now I'm going to pop this on the counter and let it rise and double in size. I'll get back to my waffle mix here. I'm going to make a double batch. So this will be, I'll need 4 cups of flour. It's about 1. I do like to kind of fluff my flour up a little bit in the bag because it really gets settled in there. And if you just kind of scoop it in there when it's nice and settled, you might get way much more flour than you're trying to get. Okay, 2. 3. 4. 'Where's my salt? Oh, there it is. We absolutely love having these for breakfast in the morning because they're so tasty. Oops. Okay, so that is it for our dry ingredients for these waffles. It's just flour, salt, baking powder, and baking soda. Just gonna give this a nice mix here. I love to make up a bunch of these waffles and freeze them so that we can reheat them whenever we need them. Okay, put this stuff back here. Okay, so now I believe I'm gonna try to make up some sourdough granola. A recipe here that I wrote down somewhere. Okay, here it is. All right, I'm just gonna get my ingredients ready here. Okay, discard coconut oil and brown sugar, maple syrup. Vanilla extract, salt, cinnamon, nutmeg. I think I'll leave the nutmeg out. Rice, crisp cereal. Oops. Okay. All right, so we need tablespoons, teaspoon, half a teaspoon, half a cup. Okay. I think I might double this recipe since I'm going through all the trouble of getting all this stuff out. I might as well just make 2 batches of it. So it says it makes 1 quart, so which is just one of these jars. So yeah, definitely gonna make 2 batches. All right, get my sourdough discard here. I always like to give this a stir before I use it. After it's been sitting for a while, it just kind of, all the liquid comes to the top. So I just like to redistribute all that liquid in there. Whoops. Okay, well that's a little over, but that's okay. Okay, 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. I haven't even opened this yet. Let me check and make sure. I don't have one that's already opened. I do, but it looks like it's almost out. Yep. So I need 2 tablespoons, but I'm just going to eyeball this. Okay, that looks like enough. I need to preheat my oven before I forget. Pop this in the microwave really quick. Okay, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup and 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 and 4. And 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. My whole family loves this granola on my homemade yogurt that I make. It makes for such a delicious and healthy snack. 2 teaspoons, okay. All right, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And half a teaspoon of salt. All right, now we mix this all together. Kind of break up those sugar clumps there best I can. ingredients. And 2 cups of oats. One cup of rice cereal. 1 cup of chopped nuts. I think I'm just gonna do about half a cup. And about 2 tablespoons of your seeds of choice. I have chia seeds, so that's what I'm using. And just eyeball about 2 tablespoons here. All right, and that is our granola. Okay, just mix all this together. This also makes a great cereal too, if you're looking for an alternative to store-bought cereals, because cereals are just super expensive these days. You can hear the Rice Krispies crackling. Okay, so now I'm gonna get this on a pan so that I can get it into the oven when it preheats. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Okay, and now we're gonna get this in the oven, and we bake this for 20 minutes, and then after 20 minutes, we rotate it and bake it for another 8 to 10 minutes. I think I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna get some hamburger meat out, and I'm gonna shape that into balls, hamburger balls, so that I can just put the balls on the Blackstone, smash them, bam, you got a burger. And I've also got some onion that I'm gonna chop up for the burgers as well. I realized I forgot to set the timer for my granola. Okay, so it's probably been about a couple minutes. I'll just do 18. Okay. Problem solved. My future self is going to thank me for doing this because we are having some friends over after church on Sunday, and that way when we get home all we got to do is turn on the grill and cook the burgers, so everything else will already be done. I am also going to be making some coleslaw and baked beans. So I don't know though if I will get around to filming that today or not. So I just make my patties about maybe a little bit bigger than a golf ball size, because you just smash them on the Blackstone. And I don't particularly like thick pieces of meat on my hamburgers. I like the fast food hamburger size. So I hope y'all are enjoying this little food prep video, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, just let me know in the comments, because this is definitely something that I should be doing every week, but I do get a little slack sometimes, just because it's so expensive to eat out right now, and just everything's so expensive right now. So any way I can try to cut back on our costs in the food category is a win. Which is why I haven't made homemade bread in a while. I've just been buying it from the store because my daughter likes to eat bin backs, turkey bin backs. And if you don't know what that is, I don't know if that's just like a southern thing or what, or maybe just in my family, but we call when you eat a sandwich on one piece of bread and you just fold it over, it's called a bin back. And we couldn't get that same effect with the homemade bread because it never was soft enough to bend all the way and not break in the middle. So, you know, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna buy the store-bought bread. It'll be fine. But it's just a good habit to get into, making what I can from scratch, since I already know how to do it. I've just been lazy, and you know, we all have we all have these seasons, you know, that we go through. So just try not to be too hard on yourself. Notice I said try. But yeah. Okay, I'm not going to use this third pack of meat here. Save that for something else. Okay, I'm just going to get these hamburger patties covered up here. Until we are ready to use them. You probably noticed I didn't put any seasoning in the meat, and that's because I season them on the grill as I'm cooking them. My granola is smelling amazing. I wish that y'all could smell it in here. So that's got about 10 more minutes, and as you can see, my dough has risen very well. So we will be able to shape that in a minute, but now I guess we will start with the waffles here. So you can see I'm getting a mess here in my sink. I'm trying not to let it bother me. Okay, so I just realized I forgot about my onion. I need to chop that up and get some lettuce prepped as well. I'm also gonna get some butter and get it into the oven while my oven's hot, because my microwave just started acting weird. So I think it might be dead. I don't know. So I'm gonna get some butter in a bowl and put that in my oven so it can melt for my waffles. Alright, so there's our onion. I'm going to put the rest of it here in my scrap bag. I think I'll do one more piece, and that's probably good enough. Sorry if you hear my refrigerator, it makes some weird noises sometimes. Alright, so here's our onions and our lettuce prepped for our burgers. Just gonna stick this in the fridge. Okay, so I was actually just noticing the dough behind me, and I think I need to get it shaped. So we're gonna do that first, and then I'll get to the waffles. So yeah, this has reached the top of the container here. Look at that. So pretty. Okay. Y'all, I just pulled my granola from the oven, and I'm supposed to let it cool all the way before I break it up into pieces. So I'll just show y'all what it looks like. It's got nice and brown on the edges. And it smells so good. Alright, y'all, so I got my bread pans here. They're just a standard 8.5 by 4.5. So I think they're both the same size, but so I'm just going to butter these really quick. To keep my bread from sticking to the pan. So I'm gonna try to get 2 loaves of bread and about 8 hamburger buns from this bucket of dough here. So when your dough is nicely hydrated, you're not going to need flour because it's not really going to stick to anything. Okay. Try to eyeball it as best I can. Okay, I'll use this dough for the hamburger buns. So here's my loaves of bread, and we're going to leave these alone for about another 30 minutes to an hour so they can proof. Alright, and now we're going to work on the hamburger buns. So I'm just rolling them up into a ball and then just kind of flattening them out. So these are going to brew for about 30 minutes and then I'll go ahead and bake these up. This dough is so hard to rip through. Gluten is very strong. Okay, so it looks like I got about 6 hamburger buns, but that'll be fine. Okay, so here's our hamburger buns. And we're gonna leave these to sit until they get nice and puffy. I'm running out of countertop space here. Okay, so I'll set a timer for about 30 minutes. All right, now we can get to our waffles. Okay, so to this, we're gonna add 4 eggs. Or half a cup of melted butter. Okay, and to this we're gonna add 4 cups of buttermilk. I make my own buttermilk, as you can tell. actually my kefir milk, but it makes a great substitution for buttermilk. All right, and that is it for our waffles. It's back in the fridge. Just gonna give this a good mix here. Oh, I'm gonna add some vanilla extract really quick. Almost forgot. Now we are ready to cook our waffles. Waffle maker is ready. I add about 1/4 cup to each one. Whoop, that was a little too much. I'm gonna go ahead and get me some cooling racks out. Okay, my granola is still pretty warm, so I'm not gonna try to break that up yet. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give one of these a taste. Not good. I might make some chocolate chip ones. I don't know yet. My kids really like those. There's nothing like waffles and milk. Of course, with butter and syrup. Okay, so I'm putting the last of my waffle mix in the cooker here. I think I can get 2 more. All right, and that's it for those. Okay, my hamburger buns have puffed up nicely, so I'm gonna brush these with an egg wash and get these in the oven when it preheats. An egg wash just helps these to get a nice golden brown color on them, on the tops, like they have in the store. So we're done with this. And I'm just gonna bake these at 375 for, I don't know, I just kind of eyeball it. Somewhere around 25 to 30 minutes. I would put some sesame seeds on these, but I don't have any, but that's okay. So, the oven is almost ready for these. Let me see what my bread looks like here. Oh, it's risen quite nicely. I'll probably put that in the oven as well. I think I'll put an egg wash on these too. Never done that before, but we'll just try it out, see how it works. And I'll probably put these in the oven the same time that I put the buns in. Just might have to rotate them ever so often so that they get, cooked evenly. Because it's easy for them to do that when you've got multiple things in there. So I'll show you all of the waffles that I got cooked. Here they are. The thing that I love about these is that I can just let them cool off, stick them in a bag, and pop them in the freezer. They do get stuck together a little bit, but because they're just this one individual waffle, they break apart really easily, and you can just heat them as you need them. Alright, so my oven's preheated, so I'm going to put all the bread in here. Oh, that's not gonna work. Just realized I'm gonna need more room at the top for the bread to expand. There we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna set a timer for the hamburger buns. I'll do 25 minutes and then I'll know what to cook my bread for the rest of the time. So now we're gonna get our granola in the jar. It's cooled off nicely. I'm making a mess everywhere. Sorry if my stomach, if y'all can hear my stomach, I just ate some waffles, so it's kind of loud. Sorry about that. So yes, we are going to enjoy this granola on some homemade yogurt and maybe even as some cereal. And you can store it like this for up to like 3 months. And it stays good in the jar here.